few things that we always look at. First of all, is compliance, corporate alignment. Compliance is, just spoke about legislation. What kind of legislation is in the country where we want to have a program that requires us to do it, that has incentives for us to do it? But there could also be barriers. Some countries we cannot focus on all the diverse groups, like LGBTIQ plus in some countries is still a crime. So that then you cannot focus on that because you cannot expose people by asking them, their background. So we have to really think about that. And how does it fit into your ESG goals? Category management, that's more how does it fit in your procurement policy? How can you make sure that your buyers, your stakeholders, leadership, that they all get engaged and see this as something that they, can do every day, that it makes sense for them, that it's another tap to source from. So making sure that it's all part of integrated into how you source. I think it was talked about earlier as well, is you have to have a dedicated team to help, right? Because buyers are there to buy, but you need to have a dedicated team to help them to find the diverse suppliers that, that go to the conferences, that are the gatekeepers, so to speak, for you, that find the businesses that the buyers can hire. So you need to have that in place as well. A very important part of our program, where we see that it's a key differentiator, is development, supplier development. And that also tackles the bias that's out there, that the businesses are not ready. We can help there. It's a very proactive program, supplier diversity, because we go out there to help them to get ready, to help them understand, what it means to work for an Accenture or for another corporation. Why do we have such a complicated due diligence process? Why do we have such a complicated onboarding process? How can we help you by maybe paying you earlier? Have an early payment policy. So those kind of things you can look at, but also look at your own expertise and how can you train those businesses with your expertise. Accenture is very big in cybersecurity or Gen AI, so we can help those small and diverse businesses all to understand how they can apply it to their business. So within our program, we have people who like to talk about their work, of course, so they can also train those businesses in doing the same. So those are the development programs, because that's how you can help them grow, and that's how you can help them be ready and be more aligned with what your needs. The last one is the ecosystem partners, and there are the NGOs again, or we call them ecosystem partners, like Reconnect, MSD UK. I will mention all of them later, because you need to find them. So they provide you with a database. They provide you with events and conferences where you can actually connect, meet with the businesses, and all sorts of other services that can help you discover the diverse suppliers. Here they are. So these are the ones that I know of that are in the UK. There's Reconnect International. I think Jax is in the room as well. They're for women-owned businesses. MSD UK. There's Reshma for ethnic minority-owned businesses. Out Britain, I see Maggie there in the back for LGBTIQ+. Veteran-owned. I think Scott is here as well. And there's social, and I'm not sure if Andy is here. Social Enterprise UK is another one. Not diverse businesses, but they're social entrepreneurs. So that's another group that we're focusing on as well. So they provide you the businesses, they provide you the databases. What they also do, and that's an important part for some of the corporations, they want to be 100% sure that they're dealing with diverse owned businesses. And that's why these organizations certify the businesses. They verify, they help figure out, okay, are you really 51% owned, controlled, and led by a diverse group? And then they get a certification. And that means that we can also externally report the spend that we have with them. Because when we do that, our numbers guys, our compliance people, always want us to show proof, and that's the proof that we can provide them so that we can actually count the diverse spend that we have. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to train this one. It's more about the business case. Why do you have it? Because what I always have to do when I'm on my soapbox, well, besides the soapbox, because I'm too tall for a soapbox, I always have to talk to different audiences. Some people get the socioeconomic value. Some people understand, why this is important. But others go like, yeah, but I'm a shareholder of Accenture as well. So why should I bother? We need to make money. We need to be profitable. So tell me why this is profitable for Accenture. And, for Accenture, I always say, we're a business-to-business company, but we help all those business-to-consumer corporations to do the same. And if we have a program like that, we can be that can be our differentiator to strengthen the relationship with those clients. And that's how we sell it. So for us, it also makes business sense. It's not just about doing good. It's, of course, very important to do good, but it also has to have business value for the company. And if I look at a business to consumer company, if you're in the food and beverage industry, or if you're retail, you want your consumers to see themselves reflected in your workforce, but also in your supply chain. And that's why it's also important for those companies, and they see the benefit. So I could fill a whole slide with all the corporations that are involved in supply inclusion and diversity, but I just selected a few that actually have an external commitment on their website, in their reporting. So a few of them, and one of them is actually British, Diageo, and I like that one as well, because what they're saying is, and we talked about supply development, they want to use their supply development program to teach, to educate small diverse businesses on sustainability. Because we spoke about that this morning, a lot of those companies, don't have the resources or don't really understand how to apply that to their business, and they help them to do that, to do just that, so that they are compliant with the Diageo's own requirements. So, that's how I see, helping them to help you. And I really loved it. But some of them really have strong commitments. Amazon has a very strong commitment. I know we see a little bit of a backlash in the US right now with the current situation, but they're investing heavily in Europe for their supply inclusion and diversity program. And what I love about them is they also provided in the US a portal for specifically for diverse businesses to trade. So I think that's how Amazon applies their offering to help diverse suppliers, and I really love that how they do that. Now, a little bit about us, because of course I have to brag about us. Very important, supply inclusion diversity, your leadership has to be engaged. Our CEO, Julie Sweet, sees the importance, the business value it brings to her clients, to Accenture, but you also understand that, a large company like us with almost 800,000 people, we have to also do something back for the community and all the economies that we operate in. So she really carries this, and she also carries that to her leadership teams. So our program started in 2002, just a year after we were founded. So it's been around almost as long as we are. It started to become global in 2008, 2009, and we now are in 22 countries. And we are one of the co-founders of We Connect International. We are co-founder of out Britain, ESDP. ESDP is the sister organization of Amnesty UK in the European Union. And also the EGLCC for LGBTIQ plus owned businesses, but we support all those organizations, help them, often sit on the board to really help them to navigate and grow. Our spend is currently globally a little bit over $1 billion, and that sounds like a lot, but I think we're 19 billion in total, so I think it's still not enough. We still need to increase that spend, but we're slowly getting there. So many other corporations. So in 22 countries. So why are we in those two countries? We really critically look at, does it make sense for us to be in those countries? So we look at, do we have a footprint? Are we actually active there? Do we have a supply chain? Do we have opportunities for small and diverse businesses in those markets? Like I said earlier, are there any legal incentives or barriers that we need to figure out? Is there enough leadership engagement? We want our local leadership to carry this as much as our global CEO. Because if you don't get their engagements, it's very hard to get people actually in our corner. It needs to be aligned with our ESG strategy. It's very important that sometimes a local ESG strategy can be different based on the circumstances. So we want to make sure that it aligns to those strategies so that we can actually have a good contribution and it makes sense for us. We need procurement to get engaged, but also the champions, right? I do this full time, or I used to do this full time, but we deal with buyers that have a very busy job. They have to do it on top of their day job. So we need champions to help us navigate that, but also navigate the market. They know the language, the culture, they know what the opportunities are. So that's very important that you have a champions network to help you build the program with the support of the dedicated team, of course. Ecosystem partners, I mentioned them already, very important, the business networks to find the diverse suppliers and also work with other corporations. I love to work with Meta and with Procter & Gamble and with Unilever and all my colleagues from all those companies because they have different insights from their industries, and together we can help each other to be successful. So that collaboration between the corporations is very important because we're all in it together. Like I said, one of our key differentiators, and I saw a mistake in the other slide that says 251, but it's actually 256 graduates, is our supply development program. I think that's our most successful part of the program, because it really helps the suppliers to be ready to figure out how they can work for other corporations, and also for our clients. Very important. We want to make sure that they get visibility to the Accenture clients as well. So that's a very important part of our program. It's 256, doesn't sound like a lot, but it's an 18-month program. It's very intense. It's very difficult to manage. So you really need full-time people to do that for us. So that's why it's slowly growing and growing, but the impact of this is quite good, because a lot of the graduates get a lot of visibility and actually win business with our clients as well. And that's why we're doing it. It's also digital. So we have our platform. So since COVID, we had to do that. So, but now we're back to more in person, of course, but we still use this platform to manage the program and also track the progress and impact that we're making. I added a few examples of some businesses that we've worked with over the years. Newco Talent, it's not so much an Accenture supplier, but we help them to get more clients. And since our program, they gained 12 new clients within, I think, 2 years. So I think that's what we're doing. That's why we're doing this. We really want them to be out there. And you see, once they get access, they win business. So, you know, that's why it's so important. Jill Thorpe, a lot of people already know Jill Thorpe. I kind of miss her every time I'm in London and she's not there. I miss her because she's always there when I'm there. She's great. She owns the sourcing team, and she's now one of our partners to help us audit suppliers on sustainability. She helped us create a platform where we can actually audit our suppliers on sustainability. And Giflix is a company that, you know, I've known now for, I think, since I worked for Accenture. It's a supplier in India for marketing. And they are a women-owned business, but also a disability-owned business. And recently we got awarded by Disability In, the organization in the US for disability-owned businesses, as the best partnership, a great partnership that we had. And she also is a social entrepreneur, because she helps women in India that are that used to be working on garbage belts to scrap their living, to become an entrepreneur and start their own business. So I think that's almost it. You're almost rid of me. And of course, we all can get involved, right? As I mentioned, we are buyers, you know, we are the gatekeepers, you know, we can go out there and find businesses and suppliers. So we can help our stakeholders, because stakeholders are usually the budget holders. We have to convince our stakeholders to support this and get the right suppliers into our supply chain. And our leadership, you know, engage others, get our leadership to support, because, you know, when they carry it, the organization will follow. So I think that's it. That's it for me. So thank you very much. I hope it was useful.
Any questions right here, right now, for Peter and Accenture's Supply Diversity Program? Lisa.
As a diverse supplier myself, how do we apply? What do we do? Do we go online? What's the process?
So you're a women-owned business?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can go to WeConnect. WeConnect International has 2 forms. So you can do self-registrations or self-certification. That means that you get into the database, or you can get certified. But then you have to pay, and Jack can tell you all about that. And when you're certified, like I said, you know, they verify whether you are truly a women-owned business. And for some corporations, that helps them to report their diverse spend. But just go online to the WeConnect website. You'll find the We Community database, I think it is, and then you can apply. And then I think within seconds or minutes, you're in the database. You're registered.
Hey, Peter. You talked about your dedicated people, your team that you've built. Supply diversity requires very much a hearts and minds approach that the individual understands and passionate about what they're doing. From a procurement perspective, what do you prioritize? The procurement professionalism that they know how procurement as a profession works, or the D&I space that kind of crosses over to make a suitably equipped employee within the procurement space for supply diversity?
So typically, supply inclusion and diversity is a procurement. It's part of the procurement functionality. So I would go for the procurement people, because inclusion and diversity, typically how I see it, yes, it has similarities, but for us as a company, that's more workforce related, and we apply it to our supply chain. So I prefer to make it a procurement, because the procurement people know what's out there, what the opportunities are. So they need to get engaged. That's very important.